Hey y'all, it's Tyler from O.T.R Outdoors. Riley's out here with me and Maddie's out here with me. They're over here beside me. We're out in the play camp again, right here on the edge of the woods in the backyard. We're gonna do another split wood fire today. We're going over different options, tools you can use for using your split wood fire. Yesterday, I actually got posted today. I used a pocket knife, which is still in working condition. I tightened it up a little bit so there's less wiggle, and the thumb lock is working just fine. No problems at all. So it's still in there, it's threaded in there, so no worries. It's working just fine. Still carrying it. Today we're going to use a machete. It's a little bit different technique to use for machete as far as, and here comes Maddie, she wants to say hi. Say hi. Yeah. No, we're not going to touch the camera. So we're going to use a machete today to do it. And like I said, it's a little bit different technique as far as getting your smaller stuff because you don't have a point to use as far as being able to split your stuff down real small. You can, depending on the type of machete, but it is a little bit different. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna use a piece of sassafras today. Okay. All right, y'all, so I just have the Gerber machete. I've used it, it's the Bear Grylls machete. I bought it at Walmart, well, probably 5 years ago. I just wanted a cheap machete that if I broke it, it wasn't gonna break my heart. I think it was 20 or 25 bucks. I wouldn't break the wallet as Maddie grabs the tripod. Sorry for the shaking there, y'all. So, Maddie, leave it alone, please. Thank you, baby. So we're going to use it today. It's worked really well. It holds a good edge. I haven't rolled it or chipped it or anything, and I've beat on it. I use it a lot for when I'm building my trails for the roots and stuff, so it gets put in the dirt quite a bit. But it's held up really well. The only thing about it I don't like is if you don't have gloves on, it does tend to give you a little bit of a blister on the hand. It's got a rubber coated handle, which is really good. It doesn't want to slip a lot, but it will rub you just right and give you a little bit of a blister. All right, so normally once you get down to this length, you would use your knife and go this way, which it will work with this machete fairly well because it does have a bit of a point. But after I get this one done, I'll show you an easier way to do it. And you're working with a really long blade at this point. Got a bit of a knot I'm having to go around here. There we go. So it works, but easier way, take your machete, because you have this big long blade, lay it on there, split it down that way. Be careful not to get it into your log, because then all it is pulling it apart. Because it only had, literally the only part that was hanging on was this bottom 2 inches or so. Let's see if we can get. Alright, so I backed it out a little so you can see what I'm doing. All I'm doing is I'm taking my piece and tucking it up underneath my belt loop, underneath my belt right here. And just working those pieces down. And I'm not real good at doing this technique, but the other thing you can do depending on your machete is choke up on the blade and use it just like you would your knife. And this one actually works pretty well for that. The last thing I'm gonna do, and the back of this doesn't work really well for making scrapings because of the coating, but the blade, you're working with a huge blade. Let me get a different piece, it's got more solid base. I'm gonna do the same thing I did earlier, just tuck it up underneath my belt. And make some really nice scrapings here. There we go. our smalls on here. Alright y'all, so my phone just died. And I don't know when it shut off. And either this wood is a little damp or it's still a little green, because once I got those curls lit, and I don't know how much of it was recorded because my phone is dead and it's charging. So it didn't take. Started to, all of a sudden it went out. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if the wood's a little damp still or if it's still a little green. It shouldn't be. This tree was cut a year and a half ago, so it should be nice and seasoned, and it was all checked, so I'm thinking it might be a little damp. We're gonna redo it. I just made some more curls real quick, and we're gonna go ahead and get it going anyways, but we had to switch cameras, so here we go. All right, y'all, so what we're gonna do is just playing around with it. I figured out that the best place to throw sparks is actually out here on the end. I think part of that is due to the fact that it gets a little more used and abused, so the coating is not there quite as much. So all I've got is a branch that I found on the ground here to prop up my end. And throw our sparks down there onto everything. Scoot back just a touch because I'm throwing everything over.
Daddy.
There we go. It'll stay going.
It's starting.
I'm going through and picking out my super small stuff because, like I said earlier, it went out. And it's either because this stuff is green or is a little damp from the rain the last couple days. Alright y'all, so there's our fire, clearly above, hopefully y'all can see that, above the back of the fire reflector. So we have a good sustainable, self-sustaining fire at this point. We could walk away for a few minutes, grab some more firewood, and come back and it'd still be going. Alright y'all, final notes for one stick fire with a machete. You saw the different demonstrations on how to split it down, make it a little bit easier for you. Once you get it split with a baton, same as you would use as a knife, depending on your machete, with this one it does have a point. I showed y'all that y'all can split your pieces down smaller or lay it flat on the blade, on the wood. Use the full length of this blade to your benefit and do it that way. Lay it down and use your baton on the back and split those big long pieces down. Makes it easier. This one, once I figured out that the tip does work a little bit better for throwing sparks instead of back here, because it only throws sparks really well back here if I'm holding the blade, and it's just too much blade to control while doing that. But in being able to set it down, use the end out here, it works a lot better. And I'll probably continue to keep doing it that way, because even if I sharpen this down and took a file or sandpaper like I said earlier and got this coating off, that's still going to be an awkward way to do it. And one stick getting this propped up throws the sparks perfect. I may take that coating off a little on the tip there, but it worked really well once I did it that way. not a bad little machete, and it's not a bad way to do it. I carry just a machete when I'm clearing trail a lot. If I want to hang out, have a fire, and it's been raining and everything's wet and I can't pick up twigs off the ground or stuff that's up in the air and just do a twig fire. If I want to do a split wood fire, I need to do a split wood fire, the machete is capable of doing it. It's a very useful tool, especially for springtime when everything is growing and coming back from its dormancy stage. It works great. So look into carrying a machete around with you. So that covers 3 different ways now, 3 different tools besides your knife to get a split wood fire going. We've done a tomahawk, a pocket knife, and a machete.
Okay.
So remember, there's always a storm coming. I don't know if y'all heard Riley or not, but remember, there's always a storm coming. Keep your powder dry, your action knife sharp, and eye on your back trail. We'll see y'all next time.